What's going on? Welcome everybody. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it on Friday, December the 8th, 2023. Thank you very much for joining me. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Every week dropped on Wednesdays and Fridays. Fridays is a day too. We should make that a day. But nonetheless, Wednesdays and Fridays on Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel to get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/robsadra if you'd like to physically support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you. If you're tuning anywhere from Canada, anywhere from Toronto, Ontario, or there in Vancouver, in the middle, Saskatchewan, Alberta, up there, Northwest Territories, down south in the United States, all the way from California, all the way to New York, all the way to the border, right down, touching the border, Texas. What's going on? Hello there in Mexico. Further down south in the South Americas, all the way over there in the tip of the South Americas, all the way down to Chile, over there in Europe, Africa, Asia, Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, Caribbean islands, Antarctica, Greenland. We'll get to Greenland as well. Don't worry about it. I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you're all having a great start to your weekends, wherever you are. Nonetheless, man, I'm feeling good. I hope you're all feeling good too. Let's get a sip of this bad boy. Loose as a goose as per usual. It is Friday. I hope that, to all my jizz slurpers out there, I hope you had a good D-sesh. And to all my box munchers out there, I hope that you went down hard and slow, but also fast if need be. I don't know the pace your lady likes. Whatevs, dude. All I'm saying is I'm happy for you. And the best thing, you're like, man, what do? I got box breath. Wash it down with coffee. That's what it is. Or you're like, man, I just got a little bit of jizz between my teeth. How do I? Coffee. Wash it down. Come sit down. Watch the show. Talk about it. Where? At the water cooler. Where? At the office. Where? At someone's funeral, perhaps, just to make things a little bit lighter. Someone's birthday. Hello. Anywhere, really. Wherever families gather, wherever friends come together to have conversations, and get to know one another and discuss different topics and have a laugh. Where can you pull up this video? Literally anywhere, anytime, with anyone. That's the beauty of it. I'll say this, man, I am just, it's Friday. We are moving along in December. It's that time to Mother Nature's coming in a little bit. We got a little bit of our first batch of snow, at least in the city. Maybe I'm not too aware, further up north, because Toronto, the GTA is pretty huge. Canada's quite large. So even you drive 2-3 hours in any direction, it could be like, oh, we're getting a little bit of rain here. We're getting a little bit of snow there. But yesterday we had our first snow in the city, which was pretty nice. A little bit light, just a little sprinkle, just a little hint of what's about to come, and that's a good sign. I want a white Christmas. I want all the trees to be covered in snow and ice and just all sorts of, varying degrees of water, whatever. Precipitation, let's go. So I'm looking forward to that, dudes, ladies and gents. Let's get right into it. We're gonna have fun. I just want to say that we're going to be discussing different topics, as many as we can today, on whatever's left over. And in addition, we'll add to it and again come back next Wednesday and talk about other shit too. So that's what we do. It's a good vibe. It's a good hang. It's a family. We're a syndicate. Because again, sometimes this ball is a rolling, but we are in our early stages of rolling. That's why as we accumulate more momentum, as we gather more community members, fellow syndicate members globally, we got to just every once in a while just touch base to reintroduce ourselves, get to familiarize ourselves with one another. So that's what it is, just a little hang. You do it once, twice, however many times as you like per week. It is Wednesdays and Fridays, so that is twice that is dropping there. But you can watch it in however, you can watch it back to back. You can watch it front to back. You can watch it side to side. You can do so many different things with it. All I'm saying is have fun, and I'm feeling good, and it is the holiday season, so let's get right into it, baby. Many of things are happening. I'll say this. How do we feel about dimming the sun? the sun dimmers out there. There's a thing happening. There's whispers, there's talks, there's chats, there's rumors, there's research, there's funding. People are talking about dimming the sun. And there's pros and cons to all of this shit right here, so we'll get right into it. Dimming the sun. Why do people want to dim the sun? I'll say this. Apparently we've taken a look at nature and we're like, what does nature do? And every once in a while nature erupts in forms of volcanic eruptions. And boom, there you go. And the atmosphere releases particles that cool down the earth. And people notice that. And large eruptions cause a cooling effect. And people are like, oh, what is this? Can we replicate this? What's nature doing? Nature's constantly changing. The weather's constantly changing. We saw that and we're like, it's a tight game. I like change. I like the weather. I like control, because you saw nature control. Some people saw nature being in control of weather and climate, for the most part, that is. And people were like, yo, let's get in on that. Let's get in on the action. What's that lane over there? Weather, climate. So people saw that, and there are proponents right now saying that we should go ahead and dim the sun, so to have that similar cooling effect on the earth. And here's the thing. Let's break it down. Pros of dimming the sun. If you want to dim the sun, who would be a proponent of dimming the sun? If you don't like to catch a tan, then this proposal is great for you. If you are, vitamin D phobic, if you got a phobia when it comes to vitamin D and you're like, none of that shit on my skin, none of that shit in my eyesight, get it away, this is potentially for you. If you're like, I like nature and I like all the, I like sun time and I like daylight and I like it when it's like bright outside, but I do prefer I do prefer nighttime. If you are a night crawler, if you are if you're out there in the evening when the sun sets and that's when you're thriving, then potentially dimming the sun is for you. Maybe you're the type of fellow or lady who is appreciative of the sun, but at the same rate, you don't appreciate the fact that you got to go everywhere and wear sunglasses to protect your eyesight. Dim the sun, less need for sunglasses. If you're like, man, if I have to wear another pair of sunglasses, another day when I step out into the sun, so dimming the sun could potentially reduce your eyewear. That's one benefit of it. So, there's so many different things to it in terms of if you enjoy the shade, but you'd like more of it, essentially dimming the sun will give you more shade. If you dim the sun, you're pro shade. You're a shady character out there. You're pro shade. That's what I'll have to say. In terms of, how are we going to replicate this, by the way, in terms of nature doing it? So we have the volcanoes erupting and particles going into the upper atmosphere. And we're going to replicate this. And we're going to have flying jets run around in the atmosphere, releasing reflective particles that'll have the same effect. And that's when you're like dabbling in geoengineering. That's when you see nature. That's when you see Mother Nature doing her thing, changing the weather. And you're like, I want in on the action. So that's essentially you taking a jet and you're queefing out reflective particles, so to have that same cooling effect. Now, this isn't, this is theory right now. If it gets implemented in large scale or even small, we'll see what happens, but there's things we should be aware of. In addition to being able to control the weather partially or dimming the sun, so to have a cooling effect, you do get side effects as well. And what are the side effects? So this is actually, you're getting way more for your, you're getting more bang for your buck here. You're not just getting a cooler earth by a few degrees here and there. You are getting, let me ask you this, do you like it windy outside? Do you like you walk outside and the wind is just hitting you right in the face and all the orifices, your nostrils are The wind is maybe coming in at like 57 kilometers an hour and just ripping your face up, but you enjoy it. You don't get a chance to stick out your head out the window while the car's on the highway. Dogs get to do that, but you don't, because you're a responsible adult. But nobody says anything if it's just really windy outside and it's like 57, 67 kilometers an hour winds, and you're just like, and you just open your mouth and it's just flapping around. Your tongue's just like hanging out the side, you're slobbering all over the place, and nobody can say anything because, you know, you're just outside in the elements. You gotta do that on the highway. People are like, you know, let's check up on this fella or lady. But nonetheless, man, all I'm saying is that if you like wind, you'll get extra wind with this, because this isn't just, we don't like, there's not just like, this isn't, we're talking controlling nature, trying to, you know, manipulate nature. This isn't some straight, like, you know, it's not an easy equation as to, you know, we're just going to apply a little bit of X here, reduce Y there, you know, add a pinch of B here. And we've not done this, or at least not on, you know, not on, we are definitely doing other things like cloud seeding and stuff, but this is, you know, similar vibes, but a little bit diff. It's same, but diff. But essentially you get altered winds. So in places where there was no wind, you might end up with winds, who knows, or a hurricane, or a tornado. We don't know. It might be a little wind. It might be just like the smallest, sexiest little, just smooth little breeze on your little, oh, you're wearing short shorts, it's summertime, little breeze. No, like little breeze never hurt no one. So you might get that. Or it might just be a tornado. It might be we didn't have tornadoes here. What is this? We changed the weather. That's what we do. We try to, you know, we try to be controlling. We try to be a little bit, we try to be that Mother Nature dominatrix sort of situation, controlling the weather. We're like, who's your mommy, who's your daddy? You said you are, or you want to say I am. What are we even talking about? The point is, it's about control. It's about wearing leather and just having a whip in your hand and saying, when it rains, and when it pours, man. So speaking of rain, I'll say this, it'll cause extra rain. And in some places where there was no rain, you might get more rain, which is great, because if you're in a drought and you get a lot of rain, that's, you know, you're making up for lost time not getting wet. But you might get a little bit in over your head. You might get too wet. You might drown. I don't know. We don't know how much rain it will cause. But, you know, if you go from drought to drowning, that's the yin to that yang, baby. I say get a boat. I say get a canoe, get a kayak, get scuba. Get your gear, get your scuba gear, get a, you know, whatever. Even you're like, I don't want to splurge on extra equipment that I might not need half the year. You get out in nature, you know, just whatever. Take your machete, chop down a couple of sugar canes, as long as, you know, you can still stick the tip of the sugar cane out the body of water. You can, you know, 2-3 feet over your head, you can still live for a few days, weeks, months, who knows, whatever. All I'm saying is you'll get extra rain with sending these reflective particles into the upper atmosphere. So to cool down the earth, you'll get some side effects, but that's not it, because you get way more. I know, this is so great. So let me ask you this. Did you ever walk in an area, or do you happen to live in an area where it is situated perhaps near a couple of, you know, maybe it's the industrial part of the town. Who knows? There's a lot of factories. There's a lot of chimney smoke, and just I don't know. There's pollution up in the air, and when it rains, it's acidic rain, so it's acid rain. And sometimes you walk outside and you're like, man, this jog is really nice, and I could go for a jog and an exfoliation sesh at the same time. So when it rains and it's acid rain, you get outside, just take a little bit of the old dermis off the top layer, removed, nice. You're feeling fresh, a little pink, a little sore, a little patchy here and there. It doesn't matter. You are getting exfoliated. So you get acid rain in parts of the city or parts of the world which are highly polluted, whether it's due to, it's the industrial part of town. It is, who knows what it is. Someone's queefing hard, dude. Whatever it is, it's causing a little bit of acid rain. But if you are the type that is like, I want more acid rain. I wish there was more acid rain. I love the smell of it. I like the fact that it just like, oh, I wanna get a car. I wanna get a brand new car, have a nice paint all over my car, but I want that to be washed off little by little over time with a little bit of acid rain, so that when people walk by my car, they're like, man, that car's, I like the paint job of that car. It looks like it's been hit. Somebody did that fine acid rain wash kind of look on their car, and they don't know. They'll think they'll think you paid for that. It'll just be like a washed out fade on your car, but no one's the wiser. You didn't pay for that. That was free, dude. That was just acid rain, just like taking off layers of paint from your car. Now you got this. Oh, this is a sick paint job, bruv. Where'd you get that? At which custom car shop did you get it done at? You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. If you like, if you like to crank it up a little bit more acidic, do you want to like walk outside, have it rain, pour acid rain on your clothes, and little by little, you'll notice little tiny holes being punctured through your clothing items, just through time, not immediately, of course, through time. A little bit of time spent in a particular neighborhood. Let's say you hypothetically wear the same outfit each and every day. Acid rain pours holes in your clothing item, and again, people will look at you and be like, oh man, this guy's got that, he must listen to whatever, he's punking it out there. This guy, he's on the streets, dude. He's got the flow, he's got the whatevs, he's got the rips, or she's got the rips, she's ripping right there. I see holes, that things, and you don't want it to because you don't want to implement your own holes. That'll be, if you don't want to buy brand new clothes and then rip it yourself, because that's a nay-nay. But acid rain punctures a couple of holes here and there. People will be like, that guy, that lady, a world traveler. Let me see what he's got to say. Let me hear her out. They'll say that. I don't know. They might not. It could go either way, really. But the point is that you'll get more acid rain, and so if you want more acid rain, then this is the benefit of dimming the old sun via reflective particles with jets, of course. Now that being said, those are all the benefits of dimming the sun. That's so that will cool down the earth. There is another theory being pushed out there. It's how do we get the sun to be more lit? How do we get litty? How do we get more lit? The more lit sun movement. The sun is litty and we'll get more litty movement. I don't know who started it, but it's taken off. It's great. There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of people are talking about it, man. It's pretty big. I don't know if you guys heard about it or not, but all right, I might have started it. It is an early movement, but we're trying to, it'll gain momentum in due time. No worries, we'll get it going. But it is a big movement. We're trying to get the sun to be more lit. Benefits of this bad boy: if we could just increase the temperature by 1 or 2, 5 degrees, who cares? Just a little bit more, and people who want to dim the ice or dim the sun, rather, they want to protect the ice. They're like, remember how we mentioned Greenland in the beginning of the show? A little bit of a callback here. Just what? Things connecting. Yeah, sometimes they do that shit. It's like a puzzle. It's like a Lego. It's like a Lego puzzle. A luzzle. Or a Pego. Anyway. Anyhow. Anywhere, anytime. Anyone. The point is, the people who want to dim the sun, they want to protect the ice. They're like, Antarctica's ice is melting, and they're like, Greenland's ice is melting. So they love ice, dude. If me myself, I could give a fuck about ice. I don't care for ice. I'm the type of fellow that'll get a drink and it's always neat. I'm the type of fellow that'll cross the border and be like, no ice. But that's just me. Some people are like, oh, we gotta protect the ice, because if the ice melts, then the sea level will rise, and other people will come along and be like, hey man, have you ever went out on a drive in a hot summer day and ordered yourself a large icy drink, but you forgot to touch it, and you pulled up somewhere, let's say a mall, and you went inside the mall and you're like, oh man, I forgot my drink. I didn't even get a sip out of that bad boy. It was iced out and ready to go, just refreshing, waiting to refresh me to the core. But damn it, it's all the way back in the car. I'm not gonna go get it. I'm already in the mall. You're gonna spend 2-3 hours in the mall doing whatever it is that you do. Go back to the car. What happened to your icy drink? It melted. What do we have here? Do we have an overflowing cup of soda pops? Do we have an overflow of liquid inside your, has your car become engulfed with water because the ice inside your beverage melted? No, no, because that's not how it works. So I think something about sea levels rising and ice melting in your cup, things to, but anyway, people like their ice. People are like, we gotta, a block of ice just fell off Antarctica. It's always falling. I've never seen, I'd be alarmed if I saw the reverse of that. People are like, chunks of Antarctica are breaking off. Good, good. It'd be weird if chunks of ice were adding itself to the already large existing piece of ice that was Antarctica. I'd be alarmed if I saw little pieces of ice clinging onto the large piece of ice. It makes sense. Ice should break off. I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't know much about anything, but all I'm saying is that if you like ice and you like Antarctica, and you're like, man, I don't want to see a couple of animals going, extinct. Move, bitch. Move. Like, get out of here. Evolve already. You know what I'm saying? Penguins, polar bears. Give it the program, fam. Let's turn it up. All I'm saying is, like, do you want more people to be more comfortable? Or do you care about a couple of, salmon eating mammals out there who are whatever, dude, they're dumb. They're cute as fuck, but like they'll move. I'm sure they'll move. Move them around. Put a couple of fans around their faces. They won't even know the difference. All I'm saying, if it warmed up, if we get litty, and once this movement gets going, once this movement gets going, we will have extra land. We're gonna have extra land. Greenland. Did you ever wish you had more natural resources? Are you the type of fellow or lady you're like, man, I want natural resources? Because this is an untouched, untampered with, treasured chest of natural resources in Greenland, waiting for people to take it. It's all for the taking. I say we all go dibs on Greenland, just heat it up a little bit. It's a huge landmass. There's so much opportunity. Make it a destination where people go to get litty, where people go to have fun. Make Greenland a new whatever. Then make Greenland great again. I don't think it's ever reached up because it's huge, but it's just waiting to be tapped into. Same with Antarctica. And honestly, I'll say this, one more thing about ice. Ice, whatevs, dude, it's fine. But we're learning so much on a daily basis. There's so much speculation, wonder, questioning, going out there trying to figure it out. And who are we? What is it to be human? Are we, where does it all go? Where did it all begin from? Where did it all start? What's up with the pyramids? Next thing you know, that leads you to a whole array of questions. Next thing you know, you're asking yourself, man, could we be possibly genetically modified? Is that a thing? Could we have been created by another species? Maybe we weren't created by another species. Have we ever been visited? Has anybody else ever come to the earth? And, or what else? And you're like, what if they did? And what if there's stuff in the ice, dude? If you wanted to either hide something, where would you want to hide it? In plain sight under a lot of ice. Maybe there's stuff in the ice. And, maybe they wanted to hide it, or maybe they didn't plan on hiding it. Maybe they just had a few saucers. Maybe they had buildings. Maybe they had offices. Maybe they had fax machines from, who knows, millions of years ago, all buried deep into the depths of the Antarcticas. And we're just sitting on a whole lot of answers waiting to be discovered, but we're like, no, let's protect the ice. You know what I mean? Let's melt it. If you don't find anything, freeze that shit up again. Easy, breezy. It's so easy to freeze things. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. All I'm saying is, you get to Antarctica, you figure it out, what's in the whole, it's too much ice. Frankly, it's too much ice. And Greenland, again, a ton of space. Everybody can roam around, have fun. It'll just be a destination where there's like, oh man, this is where you come to just let loose. Just let loose from all over the world. Just a fun nation of littiness, brought to you by the sun. So that's what I say. And like here, and again, I'm here in Toronto, we're here in Canada. Personally speaking, if it got a little bit warmer, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you know what I mean? If winters got a little bit warmer, I won't be, but that's just me. So we're trying to get this movement going. There, some people want to control it, give you acid rain, make it a little bit dimmer. Ugh, get out there and it's like 3:30 in the AMs or the PMs, and it all looks the same. It doesn't even matter. It's all dimmed out. In addition, once you do put these reflective particles into the upper atmosphere, one of the other effects is if you ever walked outside and looked at a beautiful sunset and you're like, how does nature do this every night? It's a different masterpiece. The pinks and the red and the orange and the yellow and all the colors are there mixing and matching. It's a beautiful scene. What a wonder. What a glorious thing to be enjoying and experiencing. But if you like that, but you're like, man, and in place of that, I prefer to just look at just a white backdrop, just a plain old white backdrop. If you like the look of hospital settings and you're like, I want to be in a doctor's office 24/7, putting these particles out there will actually kind of bleach out or whiten out the clouds or the overall atmosphere. Just the whole backdrop will just be a little bit white, but in time, yeah, I don't know, we might just white out the sky. So right now, beautiful sky, beautiful backdrop. Next thing you know, you might be walking out to like no background, all white, and that'll and people will freak out because it'll just be the earth, and just like it'll be like if the earth was placed in, if it goes large scale, this is potentially it could happen, you never know. It might just look like, yeah, the earth is placed in like a doctor's office, or like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't help in terms of like, then people will be like, yeah, this is definitely a simulation sort of situation, because like now you'd see like, oh man, somebody friggin' dimmed out the sun and erased the backdrop of this bad boy right here. Now we're just floating in. What is this? Just nothing. So that'll be weird. You don't want to do that unless you're some again vitamin D phobic sociopath out there and like less sun. But that's just whatever. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? I want to hear you guys and gals out there. Should we dim the sun? Should we conduct geoengineering? Are you a proponent of that? Which way should be geoengineered? Because again, there's different aspects of this. There's proponents of dimming the sun. There are advocates globally. People are trying to raise awareness in terms of getting the sun to be more lit. If put a thumbs up your own ass. Put a thumbs up your partner's vag. Anywhere. Put up a thumbs up and just declare where you stand on anything, really, and we'll get the conversation going. We'll lube the ball, we'll roll it down the hill, we'll touch base. All the good. Macaque's big business, I'll tell you that right now. That's right, Macaque's big business. Macaque is big business. I'm not talking about, an entrepreneurial wiener going out there and like, venturing out on business endeavors, but Macaque is big business. I'm not talking about that monkey. I'm not talking about that box that puts it up and charges for monies, dineros, cheddar cheese. I'm talking about monkeys. I'm talking about Macaque's big business. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows and everybody's talking about it constantly. It's the biggest topic ever. Breaking the internet, fixing the internet simultaneously, because, well, you gotta have balance. The point is, everybody's talking about macaques. They're being sold for roughly $20,000 to $24,000 a piece. These monkeys, these long-tailed macaques, are essential to research, or are they? Let's get a sip of this. Researchers all around the world are constantly conducting research and studies on macaque. So why are they doing that? They're doing that and essentially to create vaccines for potential viruses that exist out there. And there's different questions that come along. You're like, is it ethical to test monkeys or macaques? Is it ethical to test on macaque? Is it ethical to take these primates, take these beautiful mammals out there, take these thinking, lovely, beautiful, cute little creatures and do testing on them? That's a whole nother debate, but right now here's the situation. We are testing on them. Globally speaking, there's a whole market for it. Market of macaque, dude. Big market for macaque. And it's predominantly being distributed out of Southeast Asia. That was at least the trend up until the old COVID schmovid pandy schmandy sitch. That kind of put a damper on that market, but that's when like Cambodia stepped in. All in all, that is to say, there's different parts of the world that are now, supplying this, I guess, service or good or this macaque. They're coming up with macaque, and they're selling it. It used to be way cheaper, but now they're selling it for like $20K. Now, macaque needs to be lab bred in order for scientists to be able to do proper research and study on them. Because if macaque is out in the wild, out in the wild, it might pick up diseases, syphilis, herpes, the clap, crabs, HPV, all of it, AIDS, super AIDS, extra super AIDS, platinum AIDS, diamond level AIDS. It might just catch it all, and it might come in and be sold in illegal animal trafficking by illegal animal traffickers for a quick profit. They might grab these wild macaques, they might grab them out from the wild, diseased up, come up, find a naive young science student, pre-med, post-med, met a young science person, male or female, doesn't matter, but just naive, looking out into the world and asking, how can I be of assistance while I develop some sort of status and maintain a good paycheck? Macaque is big business. So these scientists are out there, they're putting their hearts out, they're putting their research, their efforts out there to come up with new vaccines for new diseases or old diseases. And this market is cray-cray because you can't just willy-nilly go create monkeys. So again, because most of these monkeys are not lab-bred monkeys, they're wild monkeys, they're coming in with problems. So what do you do now? You got a sick monkey on your ass. This monkey is oozing out every orifice. This monkey is, the asshole is ruptured. They've got prolapsed anuses, all sorts of bright red pulsating. What is going on? We can't use this much. Now what do? You pay 20 grand for it. Loose anus, can't do research, and now it's asking you for a banana, and there's only a certain number. The budget is tight, dude. You got to keep the bananas for the lab bred monkeys, so to maintain equilibrium. If you're giving out bananas willy-nilly and this wild sick monkey's just fucking eating bananas, working out, just kind of giving you the stink eye, it's just like, what's going on? What do you and then what do you do? Do you put it down or do you uplift it? What do you do? So many questions to be asked, and I'm just saying, what do we do with these monkeys? We could continue to do what we do right now and continue research on monkeys. I'm not saying don't research on monkeys, because like I for one, I'm a researcher of sorts myself. I've been known to Google things, dude, so I'm not out here saying don't do research, so I'll pull up a brand new web browser any day of the week. I'm right there with you. So diff, but same, you know what I mean? So relatable. All in all, that is to say, nothing really in terms of, because yeah, I'm not trying to like say stop doing monkey research, monkey business, but maybe stop. But what do the people think? That's what I want to know. Ironically, the beauty of this whole circle of macaque is that because some of these monkeys are wild and they're sick, they actually come in contact with whoever's handling them in the process of, getting the wild monkey from the wild, bringing it somewhere, stacking them on top of one another, and overpopulated, poorly maintained facilities. So they're just like, disease ridden, and they're interacting with humans. Through these interactions, they're actually spreading diseases and new viruses to humans sometimes. So the beauty and irony of this is all that it kind of comes full circle, because we're taking these monkeys to do research on them to come up with vaccines to cure certain diseases and viruses. Meanwhile, in the process, we are coming in contact with these monkeys from the wild, catching new diseases and viruses, which will require more vaccines, which is, again, this macaque circle is tight. It is, something to think about. And I wonder if, should we get in on the business ourselves? Should we start, should we start producing our own? Do we need to grow? Does macaque need to grow domestically, is what I'm trying to say, instead of going there outsourcing macaque? And you're like, man, I gotta, if we were to at least have facilities grow, so we can grow our own macaques, our own cocks, dude. Macaques, homebred. So whenever we do, and wherever we do the research, we at least know where they came from, so that we're not wasting money and endangering more animal lives. If that's of any concern to anybody anywhere, if you like fucking cute monkeys, if you're like, I could give a fuck about monkeys, then, then whatever, this is not, and to each their own. There's so many different things you could be, all I'm saying is, like, they're pretty fucking cute, dude. Even the disease-ridden ones from afar, pretty cute. If they start, I like them wild in nature, do their thing. But at the same time, I do understand there's got to be research done, or not. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Maybe there is no need for research to be done. Maybe we should stop animal research altogether. But then, yeah, I don't know. But then we like science, right? So then we can't. So poor monkeys. Save the monkeys. Oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, let us collect ourselves. Let us come together. I'll say this. I've had it up to here with people talking about dive bars. You gotta go check out a dive bar. You gotta come to this dive bar. You gotta go to that dive bar. And 6 months goes by. You finally you're like, all right, I'll go to the dive bar. I will come to this dive bar, check it out, see what the big fuss is about. So you get all excited. You shave, you wax, you pluck, you whatever. You get ready. You buy yourself a wetsuit. You buy yourself some, scuba gear. And you're like, I'm gonna head down to this dive bar, and you head down there, ready to go inside for a whole day of just diving and engaging in wetworks and waterworks and water sports. You get in there, and they open a door, and you get inside, and everybody's dressed casually, pants, blouses, shirts, sleeves, belts, shoes, collars, everything. People are covered up, and you're there in a wetsuit, and you get a little bit cheesed, you get a little bit upset, rightly so, because all this time they were like, come to this dive bar, check out this dive bar. And you're ready to dive. You're like, I'm not sure if this, but then you end up going, you're like, I'll give it a try. You invest equipment, time, effort, putting yourself out there, and everybody's just like casually like, no, what are we doing here if we're not? Somehow they managed to, on this particular day, empty out the whole facility of water, and nobody bothered to let you in on the note that we're gonna empty this dive bar of the water and use it for something else, whatever this is. Some sort of a leisurely hang. Bring in staff from somewhere. People who probably don't even work at the dive bar. People who they look like, wait staff instead of people who'd work at a dive bar. Or they got a fella in there dressed like a bartender. They got a bar set up and this serving drinks, and that's cool too. And all of a sudden, a couple of hot chicks start noticing you. And they take a liking to your outfit. They're like, that's cute, that's hot, that wetsuit is making me horny. They'll say that. I'll start rubbing up on you. And they're like, let's get a couple of drinks and what's your story? Why did you wear? And they want to go back. It's a threesome about to unfold, but unfortunately, it's a matter of principle. Yeah, music's good, the food is good, the drinks are great, the company's lovely. But at the end of the day, it's like, ladies, I appreciate it. But again, I thought we were going to be doing some diving today. So you'd pack up your extra oxygen tank, you pack it up disappointed, and you leave the place. Of course, you'd leave the place because it's a matter of principle and is simply not as advertised. If you're going to say it's a dive bar, facility's got no water, I don't see no fish, I don't see no diving instructors, and nobody seems to want to mention anything in regards to diving here, and everybody's acting aloof. It's like, I don't like it when people are flaky like that. It's just like, if we're diving, say we're gonna dive. If we're gonna go leisurely hang, that's a different story. I'll prepare myself differently, but I've had it up to, it's there, man. I'll say that, and I'll say this. Also, another thing that people be talking, if you're gonna talk the talk, like, also walk the walk. If you're gonna walk the walk, talk the talk, and talk the talk, then walk the walk. If you're gonna walk and talk, sick people would be like, man, they look up into the sky and you see a beautiful bird just flapping its wings, flying. And every person walks in at one point or another like, yeah, I wish I could fly like a bird. I wish I could fly like a bird. Fly like a bird. What'd it be like to fly like a bird? Everybody says that shit, and all of a sudden you catch yourself in an odd situation where you're skydiving and you put a squirrel suit on and you're skydiving and you're doing the squirrel suit skydiving combo, and you're flying out there, going through the air, just doing backflips and everything, and all at the same time you were down here on the ground like the rest of us, saying, oh, I wish I could fly like a bird, and you're up there. Everybody goes through the procedure, but nobody has, up until now, no human being has gone up there and actually shat from above, below, like an actual bird. So all this talk of, I want to fly like a bird, how bad do you want it? Do you even really want to fly like a bird, or do you want to mimic what a bird, flight is like? Because if you wanted to actually feel what it's like to fly like a bird, once you're up there skydiving or squirrel suit jumping, you should be mostly nude. And dropping hot deuces from above. That, and only through that way, is the only method that you'll actually achieve full bird flight experience. So enough talk. I've had it up to a good level of having, it's right there. I've had it up to. So please, if you're up there skydiving, if you're there squirrel suit jumping, please drop a load from above so that when you come down, we can all ask you how it was, and you can actually, from an objective stance, get as close as possible to what it means to fly like a bird. Because it's not just anybody can go and just, get on a plane or get even on a bungee jump. And, if you're up there being dropped from the heights and you're not dropping deuces and you're like, I want to fly like it's just stop it. Just stop it. You know, stop that nonsense. This is where I'm putting my foot down, and that's how I feel about it. I just have to get that off my chest, because it's the holiday season. You don't want to go into the new year, which is right around the corner. You don't want to go. You want to put it aside, wrap it up, get some closure, move along. That's what I say. But that's just me. Some of y'all might feel very similar out there. And you're like, man, I'm so glad you said it. And I'm like, I know, fellas, ladies, I know. Who are we kidding right here, right? All these people going out there jumping, pretending to be birds, not dropping deuces, half-assing it. It's like, come on, dude. Come on. Oh, look at us joining hands in a circle. Yeah, but have you ever seen 100 pigeons fly together? You see at least 7 of them dropping deuces. If you're in a group of 25 skydiving, 2 of you could drop deuces, dude. Like birds. Come on. God. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for all the love and support. Where can you find these videos? Where can you find these videos? Every Wednesday, every Friday, on Instagram, on YouTube, on patreon.com/RobSadri. That's where you can find these videos. Go ahead and follow me. Talk about it with your family and friends. I hope that, again, it is the weekend. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend wherever you are. And I'll also say this. Because I got to get it off my... How much cock can you reveal before it's considered porn? That is on the forefront of scientific research. People out there are trying to, they're trying to tackle this question from all angles, from all sides. How much cock could you reveal before it's considered porn? Because varying degrees of inches, people are all different, like everybody's built different, everybody's working with different bodies. Does it matter, like if it's, let's say, hypothetically speaking, if pubic bone area, if you're showing pubic bone area, is that porn? Scientists need to know, and I'm for learning and for growth. So pubic bone area, with or without bush, does the bush make it fall under the category of porn? If you were to shave it and you show pubic bone area, shaved pubic bone area, is that porn or no? The base of the peen, the base of the, if you show just the base of the cock, just the base of, like I'm talking maybe quarter of an inch of the base of the cock, you can't see anything else, base of the, is that porn? Does it matter for how long it's in the frame or just visible? Doesn't even need to be filmed. Or I'm just wondering, well, it doesn't need to be filmed if it's going to be porn. It is, yeah. So on film, if it's just, how low can your pants go before it's considered porn? I do want to know that for the scientific community, of course, not for my personal random reasons, just trying to figure it out. If you were to zoom in on the tip of the dick hole, zoom in really close on the tip of the dick hole, so that it looks, you wouldn't technically be able to tell that it's macaque or the tip of your, I'm not talking about for me, I'm just talking about for the scientific community, for research, for growth. If you were to just zoom in and it's just like see it, you can barely make it out. You're like, what is that? Is that somebody, am I seeing somebody's elbow? Am I looking at a flower? Is that a belly button? What am I looking at? What is this? Is this abstract art? Is this just, what am I looking at? is this picture blurry, or is it like, what is, so I just want, or if you just shot it from like mid shaft, if you saw nothing but just like close up zoom mid shaft, so it's just skin basically, but mid, is that porn? This is what is keeping everybody up at night. This is what is going on through everyone's mind, and I like to say that again, we are in it together. Don't ever feel like you're alone out there. Don't ever feel like your question is not worthy of an answer. And to the female viewers, long time supporters, fans, fellow syndicate members, gals, lasses, ladies, you might have a similar question. You're like, how much vag could I show before it's considered porn? And I feel your pain. I get it. Because it's one of those things, like, man, it's just, I wish I knew the answer. Because, like, again, pubic bone region of vag, just, you know, shaved or unshaved. Does that, if you see, if I can't see lips or clit, is that, you know, how low can we go? How low can you go? Like, in terms of, like, let's say, hypothetically, maybe it's not even, maybe it's just fashion, dude. Ladies, maybe it's just like the lowest cut jeans or pants or skirt, but it's just extremely low. It's like barely even, like, so like you slip maybe like 2 millimeters, you'd slip, you'd see vag. But like but then again, if you were to reveal just the top portion of the vag, is that porn? Or if you just like came in from the side, or if you just like looked at a lip from the side and you weren't even able to, if it was zoomed in and you're not even distinguishing whether, what am I again looking at? Is this am I looking at fruits, vegetables? Is this a piece, am I looking at, you know, is that a tangerine orange? Is that a, you know, is that a little gummy bear? What am I looking at here? Is that a little licorice? What is that? So it's just like, if it's ambiguous, if it's not, but if it's just a piece, how much of it? Because the full thing, obviously, it was like, okay, that's the, if you can clearly see the full thing, whether it's cock or vag, you'd be like, okay, I see a cock, I see a vag, clear as day as to what it is. But if you see a bit of it, how much of it does it, like, how much is the qualifier to go from just straight up, what am I looking at? Yes, no, not quite sure, to yes, this is porn. Or not even, like, I don't even, you know, not to even put a label on it, but like nudity, I guess. If it's, because porn would, I guess, you need penetration of something, of someone, or at least yourself doing something. That's, you know, but again, it's all about learning and it's all about growth. So I'll say this. Please remember to take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, fantastic weekend out there. Once again, where can you find these videos? Every Wednesday and Friday, dropped on Instagram, chopped up into little pieces for you. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. The family, the syndicate, the global movement that we are is growing. Patreon.com/RobSadri if you'd like to fiscally support the show. I love you all. I'll be back here again next week. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.